Hi guys, John here. This video today is going to be an update video on my Aqua 1 Mini Reef 120. For you guys that don't know, this tank has been up and running for about a year and a half now, and it is soon to be shut down and everything that you see in here transferred to a larger tank. So this is more or less going to be the final steps of what this tank looks like, and it's going to be it's not going to be the final video of this tank. I'll do another video just before I tear this tank down and show you what it looks like, but as of now this is what the tank looks like, and I'll go through everything new that's happened and some things that have changed, some things that have gone right and wrong, and fill you in on some interesting stuff. So I'll start off by saying that I have gotten quite a few more SPS coral. See if I can get it to focus on them. There you go. This section here is my SPS area. You can see that I have, I actually don't know, 2, 4, 6, 10, including that very small piece there. Most of them are bird's nest. Well, all of them are bird's nest other than this little fella, or this big fella I dare say, right here. I'll just back off so you can have a full shot of the tank and explain what's been happening. For you guys that have been following me, I have not had the greatest success with SPS coral. Most of that being due to high nutrients levels in the water and having not enough flow and or not having enough or sufficient lighting. Now, all of those things have changed over the past 3 months. Everything that I just mentioned has been made right. So the new light was put on the tank around 8 months ago. The flow was increased with my new Jabeo pump over there, and the light, once again, I've adjusted it to make sure SPS will thrive, and also I have made sure I have an extremely low nutrient tank. Now, everything you see in here, I'll actually just increase the lighting because the light's a bit dull. That might help a bit. You might not see a change for a couple of seconds. But everything I just said has been helped and made sure that the tank is running okay. Now, my first purchase was bird's nest number 1, which is this little fella, and if I can get it to focus, you can see it's almost fully bleached out. That little fella and that little fella and that one up there are all off that original one, and they all have not been doing the best. That was my first bird's nest, or my first proper bird's nest that I got, and it was extremely affected by the stuff that was in the tank. I was changing a lot of the stuff. My dosing was different, my nutrient level was different, and it took the brunt of it, and it's basically dead. Now, you can probably see by now, if I can get it to focus, that I have one there which is doing fine. It's the same type of bird's nest. See if I can get a better shot of that. Not sure why this light isn't adjusting to how I want it, but that's okay. So you can see that little fella there. Give you a bit of a zoom. Now you can see its polyps are extended really nicely, and it's a bright green. Along with this Pocillopora, which has almost come back from dead. It was bleach white, and now it's getting its fluorescent pink colors back. Now you may also see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That was one bird's nest that I managed to frag into 5 different pieces. This one was only fragged 2 days ago because there was one stem or branch that was almost dead, and I just wanted to get that out of the tank or out of that original colony so it wouldn't kill any more of the coral. And what not many people know is that I work at an aquarium shop, and that deals a lot with coral and reef and your fish. And what a lot of people, or a lot of questions I get asked, or what not many people seem to realize, of how delicate SPS coral are. A lot of people buy them thinking they'll do great. They come in a week later and they say it's dead. And then I asked, what do they do? They said, I've moved it from here to here to here to here, and it hasn't liked any of those spots. And you have to be so careful as to how you treat these types of corals. Now, your LPS, like, I wouldn't say like, but your anemones, your torch, your frog spawns, your hammer corals, your zoanthids, they're a little bit more tolerant of changes. They don't mind at all you messing around with them. You can move them from here to up there, no difference. In a matter of hours they'll be open, looking great. But if you move an SPS from here to there, it can die almost within 2 to 3 days. It's just something like that. And what I can't stress enough as to how delicate these corals actually are. I'll show you some nice close-ups of the tang. And I get a lot of people coming in saying that it's died, and I ask them what they've done, and it's, lo and behold, they've moved it around, and basically they've killed their own coral because they don't know the proper ways to deal with it. And it's a shame because they're extremely beautiful coral. And if you can see this fella right here, I've actually purchased this fella today and it's already open and looking lovely. See if I can get a shot of that. It's called a purple staghorn, so it's an acropora, an acro. Absolutely awesome. You can't really see the purple on it in this camera, but I can definitely see it in with my eyes. Sorry about the background noise. You must be able to hear my little birds in the back, which are making a bit of a racket. All right, so like I said, they're extremely delicate corals, and not many people know that, and it's a shame because they are very expensive. Coral in general are extremely expensive, and if you don't do any research and just get a coral because you want it or you think it will look cool, it's definitely not going to do well in your tank, because you need to know quite a lot of information about your coral, where it should be positioned with the lighting, the areas where it should be, where it shouldn't be. And I can give you a good example of that right now. You can see where I put that purple staghorn. It's directly under my AI prime light, which is the perfect spot for it because they're a high light dependent coral. Corals such as my torch coral, it was actually for the past 3 to 4 months exactly where that purple staghorn was, and it was doing great. But then I started to increase the light because I got more SPS into the tank, and I noticed something. The tip started to go white on it. And when you see tips starting to go white on really any coral, it's a sign of distress, problems, and something you need to take a hold quickly. And if you can have a look, although it does have white tips, you can actually see the stems of those tips are coming down to the actual tentacle, and that's actually bleaching of the coral. And that was due to the intense light that it was under. And I knew that it was probably not the best spot for that, but it looked good. And I think a lot of people place a coral where they think it looks good and not necessarily where it should go. And in saying that, I moved it. It's down here. It's basically recovered within 2 weeks of it being down here. It's basically back to normal again. You can very rarely, or not rarely, but you can very small amount, you can see that bleaching on top of that coral, and that's really good. I'm happy that it's bounced back really quickly. Surprisingly, I thought it wouldn't. I thought it was going to slowly creep down and eventually kill the coral, but obviously not. That's basically what I wanted to say about light. Lighting is extremely crucial in terms of housing any SPS coral in your tank. And if I can get my light to work, which it doesn't necessarily seem like it wants to. My internet is extremely slow at the moment, so that's probably the reason why the light's not connecting, because it's all Wi-Fi connected. But I might as well give you an update on the fish. You can see I've got my 4 clowns, 2 pairs. You can see I have my little male down here, I have my big female up there, and then my male and female black Ocellaris clowns, which are doing great. I've got my little orange shoulder tang, little now, not for too long. I've got my Chorus, which is growing and slowly going through his transformation. Then I've got my Melanaris, which you can see over there. along with my blenny, which is hiding in the rocks at the moment and I can't exactly spot. But everything's going great in the tank. I'll give you a close-up. You can see I have my green star polyps that I fragged. See if I can get it to focus. That I fragged off the rock. It was actually basically all over there, and it was dying. It had a lot of green hair algae on it. That was around 2 months ago. I was having algae problems. Not anymore. I haven't had a spot of green hair algae in the tank since, but I got rid of that coral, and that was the only place that I had it, and it seems to be doing quite well down here, fragged up by itself. So you can see there. My Chorus wrasse does love to flip them, so you'll be seeing all these pieces have basically been flipped. See, I've got my hermit crab, my coral liomorphs have been growing great, and for you guys that know, I had a little piece that came as like a little freebie on there, and that's growing really well. It looks like a Recordia mushroom. It's like greeny blue with orange balls, so it might be, could turn out to be one of those new bounce mushrooms, hopefully. Highly doubtful though, but definitely. So you can see all the different types of corals. Got my torch / frog spawn. Have my zoas. Have my zoas down here, which are growing like crazy. This camera does love to focus. There you go. Like I said, there's my green stem torch, one of my anemones. Then I have my other 2 up there in the breeder box, which are doing great, growing like crazy. Got my green my green tip torch, my 5. Sorry about that, the video just cut out for a sec. So you can see I've got my, like I said, I've got my anemones. I have my 5 or so bird's nest coral, along with my purple stag, which you can see over there, my Postillopora. Then you've got all my my hammer garden, which I like to call it. I've got my green stem hammer, my mottled hammer, my pink. Then I've got my torch / frog spawn, which is doing great. Got my flat brain coral. And there you go, nice close-up of those zoas for you. Doing great. Got some really nice bright green ones which have popped up over here. And I've glued these fellas down here. It was from another rock, but I had to glue it over there. And it's looking good. And also, if you can see in there, I've actually got my sea urchin. See if I can actually shine the torch in there, get a bit of a better view. There you go. Got my sea urchin in there. Looking fabulous. And cleanup crews is another thing that I'd like to talk about. The only cleanup crew members I have in my tank at the moment are my sea urchin, 1 turbo snail, 1 trochus, 1 strombus snail, sorry, and then a couple of hermit crabs. And that's all I basically have in this tank. Well, it is all I have in this tank. And I will be upgrading that when I get my bigger tank. I will be getting a lot more cleanup crew members, and once again a lot more corals and everything like that. So I hope this video was long enough. There wasn't a huge amount to talk about, but it was just a general update on how the tank's been going. You can see my Chorus wrasse digging in the sand, trying to find some bristle worms or anything like that, which is really interesting. There's not a hell of a lot to talk about. Everything's going very well. I'll keep everyone updated with pictures and hopefully some more videos of definitely my new bird's nests and staghorn. I'll be really interested to see how this purple stag turns out after a while. He definitely is a beauty. He's got blue tips to him, which is really cool, and that's what kind of drew me to him. Hopefully when I get it and it grows out, it keeps those colors. Because corals can drastically change under different lights, and I have LEDs, or a little bit less par LEDs compared to the ones that I had or where I purchased it from, and hopefully it should be fine. But that was the general update of the Reef tank. Post your comments in the comment section below of what videos you want more. If you want any specific videos of any specific items, or how to care for your wrasse, how to care for your tangs, or how I care for my tangs and wrasse. Any parasite control videos that I think I might end up doing just in time, but definitely give me ideas. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And for anyone that wants to contact me directly and ask me any questions, go on my Facebook. My link's in the description, but if not, it's on my homepage of my YouTube channel. But all you have to type into Facebook is Jonathan JD, and it'll come up with my Jonathan JD and John's Dragons and Exotics, and you can contact me through there. It's my personal profile, so you're not going through any pages. That's me. You can talk to me straight through that, and I usually answer as quickly as I can. So thanks everyone for subscribing. I think I've reached 3,500 subscribers, or 3,400, which is a huge number. It's a huge number. I was excited when I reached 3 subscribers, then 300, then 1,000, which was amazing. Now I'm over 3,000, so it's definitely grown extremely big, and I have to attribute that to my reef tank and how that's been going. So I'll give you a last look at my corals. See my anemones, all my fish congregating in one area. See it over there, all my different types. And I'll make sure the next video I'll get this lighting sorted out. I've been having trouble with this, trying to adjust the phone to the lighting, but hopefully in the next 2 to 3 videos I'll have smacked that nail on the head, and there'll be some really good quality videos under this light. So thanks for watching, and I'll keep you guys updated.